European Commission, but I do think today is a good day for gamers around the world. Today we've announced two agreements, one with Nintendo, the other with NVIDIA. Together, this will make these games, especially Call of Duty, available to 150 million more people around the world. I think if you're a competition regulator and you're focused on the interests of consumers and competition, today was a good day.
And Sony, that's obviously the big competitor here. You've not managed to sign any agreements with Sony as of yet. They still very much object to this deal. Have you got any closer to getting Sony sort of to any kind of agreement or on your side at all?
Well, I live with the hope that we'll come to terms with Sony. I think that would be great for consumers around the world. We're not there yet. But I do think as we make progress with others, if we can get a deal done with Nintendo, if we can get an agreement with NVIDIA, it should provide a path forward that others like Sony can build on as well.
And in a press conference just a few moments ago, you held up an agreement saying, we're ready to sign with Sony. What is it exactly you're offering Sony at this point?
Well, we're offering to Sony the same thing we've offered to Nintendo and to NVIDIA, especially for Call of Duty, a 10-year agreement, legally binding, so that when we bring out a new version of Call of Duty on Xbox, it will be available on Sony PlayStation on the same day, on the same terms, with the same features. It really ensures parity. I think everybody who's looked at this would say it's a better deal for Sony than the one they have right now with Activision Blizzard that will expire next year.
And just in terms of that agreement with Nintendo, that's an interesting one because, of course, it's very much focused on Call of Duty, one of the big hit games out of Activision Blizzard as well. Would you commit to other games too? I know with NVIDIA, it's a broader library of games, but with Nintendo specifically Call of Duty, and there could still be some concerns from regulators here that actually some of the other big games from Activision Blizzard could sort of fall foul and could sort of be made exclusive to Microsoft platforms.
We're not hearing concerns today from Nintendo about other titles. I think we have a very good relationship with Nintendo. In the United States, literally, we're just a few kilometers apart. In Redmond, Washington. We have more than 20 titles available on Nintendo devices today. This ensures that Call of Duty will be added to that list. I think there's a bright future for both of us.
And it's not just this, of course, EU case. You've got the case with the FTC in the US, the CMA over in the UK, lots of hurdles here. How concerned are you at this point of this deal just completely falling through, just given the number of large regulators still very much against the deal?
I think we have a clear path to get this deal done. And today takes us a huge step forward. I think for regulators to be able to look at this deal and recognize that it brings a game like Call of Duty to 150 million more people, that has to be good for competition and consumers. But more than that, I think these two agreements together really provide a model for regulators, those that want to have regulatory controls in place. We've been equally clear. We're open to doing that. I think that's the path forward.
And the CMA over in the UK, arguably perhaps one of the toughest opponents here, they've offered some sort of remedies, and one of those is actually, suggesting to divest the business associated with the Call of Duty games. Is that something you're considering right now?
We really don't see a feasible path to sell off the Call of Duty game. It wouldn't be inexpensive. It just isn't something that seems to be lining up. It's far better, in our view, to bring Call of Duty to 150 million more people. The only reason to sell it off is the CMA's potential concern that if we buy it, we won't provide it to others as broadly. I think that concern should be dispelled by the two agreements we've signed today.
And